Okay, so peace to you all. This is Soli, and I am back again with Santos. Today, we will be discussing the topic of targeted individuals. Santos Bonacci himself has been a targeted individual, as he has been, doing lots of things and revealing the system for what it is, and how they don't like that. So welcome, bro.
Yeah, thanks, Soli. Much appreciated for having me back again.
Yeah.
This is a very important and necessary subject to talk about. Most people aren't aware of it, and most people are targeted. I would say everyone is targeted to some degree or another, and depending on what they do. So in general, the targeting is coming from degrading the environment, the food, the frequencies of the operating systems of communication. All these have been manipulated to target us. And so people are suffering, getting sick, getting diseases, getting into all sorts of physical complications as well. And then there's another level of targeting where you can have stalkers, or you can have voice to skull, or you can have frequencies triangulated to your body wherever you go so that you'll be exhausted. And some of them will activate the parasites in you. And this is what I had. That's the kind that I had. Through parasites, they were able to manipulate my whole life, my health, sleep, and everything. So once I got rid of the parasites, I eliminated the third party that causes so much suffering in many people. Other people get, as I said, voice to skull. I've never had this, but I have had torture. I've been tortured for the last 10 years, varying degrees. I've been tortured by these frequencies, and especially in the last 2 years, they were very, very severe. And so the parasites that people are experiencing, these are, a lot of them are very like super parasites, they've been modified, etc. And some of them are in the actual chemtrails. So that's where a lot of them come through, and we breathe them in. And they have their specific little program to run once they're in you. And those frequencies seem to, get them active, especially at night, which is what happened to me. I was not sleeping because I'd go to bed and I'd start itching all over the body. Crazy, insane itch. Absolutely mortifying and relentless and cruel. And, it affected my mind as well, because these parasites then enable entities to have a certain measure of control over you. And if you allow them, they'll take over your life and cause a lot of trouble in your life. People are having all kinds of trouble because of this being targeted. And then I have friends as well that I know personally all around the world who are actually receiving stalking.
By
And,
whom?
they come, yeah.
By whom are they being stalked? Like the government, etc., etc. Like, who does the targeting? It's the government, right?
Okay, well, the government is one of the mechanisms whereby they are enabled, because it's in the government's interest to have these people. So these people would be working for the government in a way that they would be people who have been conscripted from jails, etc., and do a deal for the community, because it's for the community protection, to follow people, stalk them, see where they're going, create noise in the surrounding area, and always be there so that they know that they are being followed. And this is happening all the time. So this is another form of torture and another form of subjugation to have control over people. Another way is through the drugs that young people are taking. Most of these drugs, even strains of cannabis, are designed to change your DNA and reprogram it. And so you'll see people doing strange behavior when they meet new people in their lives, or when they start new habits that other people introduce to them. They seem to go that way of the people. And this is because they're practicing and ingesting the same things. Everything is conscious. So when you eat a tomato, you're eating the consciousness of a tomato. And same with cannabis. So if it's been genetically modified, it will cause complications, chemical, in the body. Things start going wrong, you know, psychosis, neurosis, all kinds of unpleasant behavior. So these drugs that people are taking, they're all laced with this DNA changing chemical. And then how they do this, if you're addicted to things like Zoloft and all of these chemicals for depression and antidepressant and sleep and uppers and downers, etc., what you're doing now is you are creating a whole new individual. And depending on the medications, you could become, you know, like all of a sudden gender fluid, or you might become depressed, or polyamorous all of a sudden, or highly sexed. And so you want to get as many experiences as you can. And these are all programs that are being run. And they control the data of all of this and how things are going. You know, they want to know whether one's getting obese, whether another one's getting, you know, emaciated and undernourished. They want to know, you know, where people shop, etc., and stuff like that. So that all of this information is gathered so that they can then find people who are sort of not the usual type of people like they're doing in China with their point credit system. So you get a pat on the back if you do exactly as Big Brother tells you. And otherwise, in the computer system goes your name with what exactly you're doing and how they want to stifle you. So I've also seen this in other areas. My YouTube channel, subscribers just stop. And hits being removed, etc. So I've been aware of this for a long time. My information doesn't come up in the search as much anymore, and so this is shadow banning. You know, these are all techniques and ways to limit the consciousness expansion that is going on right now. And so it would be very wise and a good idea for young ones listening, especially, to protect themselves and watch out at parties for people dropping things in your glass. You know, so I wouldn't be going anywhere near those places. They're very dangerous, and the entities there as well. What happens is these medications, they put holes in your aura. It's a torus field circling around you, and you need it to be whole, as in W-H-O-L-E, not H-O-L-E. If it's whole, it will be holy. And this is how you make a holy vessel for yourself, by being holy. And then if you frequent places where people are degraded, degenerate, and on the left-hand path, you will be infested somewhat with this spirit. It will be hard to cleanse the soul from these holes because they have parasites attached to them, spiritual entities called demons. And they are latched onto their aura. You see, they are in their vessel field, disturbing it, causing all kinds of mental disturbances, emotional disturbances, unbalance, etc. So it's very important to have protection. You know, you might have a little stone, you might have some magnets around your wrist, you might have shungite, hermatite. I have tulsi wood always on my right wrist and around my neck. This is holy wood. Yeah. And of course, invocation. Go on.
So let's say you don't have access to those things. Are there any means of finding protection from like within yourself?
Yeah, of course. You are protected. You just have to strengthen your magnetic field. So to protect yourself, you need magnetic energy, not electrical. Magnetic energy you'll get when you do solar gazing and you put your palms towards the sun. And so in a male, the energy is coming in the right hand and going through the body and generating energy in the magnetic rotating field, your torus, your torso torus, and then issuing out of the left hand. In the female, it's the opposite, comes in the left, and what it's doing is it's generating magnetism and making your vortex body whole again, your Merkaba. So there are no holes in it, you see, and this is protection. So you can do this daily, you know, because your palm is an anagram for lamp. And Akhenaten, the 18th dynasty pharaoh, he would show his palms to the sun, you see, because the sun is the lamp. In Revelation 21, it says, the city shall not need a sun, for the Lamb shall be its lamp. So lamb has a B in it. And you see, it is also an anagram for balm. And healing balm from the god Baal, balm, is from the lamb. The sun is the lamb. And your body is made up of laminin and amino acids. Amino is the lamb. So your whole body is about the lamb because photosynthesis in the body is through the laminin. You see, the energy of the sun is coming, it's the glue of your body. And it's like a shape of a cross. If you go to Google Images and punch in laminin, you will see images there of a little cross, and your body's made up of all these crosses. And it's the glue that holds your body together. And so when you do this and you stare at the sun in the morning, early in the morning, I can do it at midday. It doesn't matter for me. I just stare straight at the sun, no matter how hot it is. And I'm in California at the moment, in Northern California, just north of San Francisco. And the sun is blazing hot. Today, at midday, I was hailing Sol Invictus. And this is how the ancients used to greet the sun. Hail the invincible sun, because you cannot conquer the sun. The winter cannot conquer it, neither can the nighttime. So he is always there. He returns, and he is the risen Savior, the Christ in the heavens. So when you stare at the sun, you will see a cross behind the sun. And that's the cross of Christ. The sun's corona is Jesus, the sun's crown of thorns. And that is your crown chakra. And when you activate your crown chakra, then you have this corona. And so this is how you have to magnetize your body to protect yourself.
Yeah. Okay. So I know that, you know,
and chanting.
Chanting. Yeah. Yeah, words are powerful, you know. Indeed, but I was gonna say, I know that, you know, the sun works through you there, you, I think you paused. Yeah, so like I was saying, I'm aware that, you know, the sun works through electrotism and then the moon works through magnetism, right? So if we're seeking magnetism, then are there any ways for us to utilize the moon?
First of all, they're all magnetic. Everything starts with magnetism. It's the pulse of the universe. So both sun and moon and all the planets and all the stars are magnetic. They
Mm-hmm.
are holes in the firmament. They are holes, holy holes with halos. And halos in Greek means salt. So health, salutations, and salud or health comes from salt, and healing comes from halos, which is salt. And so they're all magnetic. It's their effect which will give either a negative electrical or a positive electrical um, energy, red shift or blue shift. So the sun would be red shift, the moon is more blue shift
Mm-hmm.
in its, yeah, it's more uh, dielectric converging energy, whereas the sun creates diverging magnetic waves. So they would be centrifugal,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
whereas the centripetal. Oh no, excuse me, that's the moon, of course, centripetal. So the sun is centrifugal. And so this is how we charge our bodies and magnetize our bodies to protect us. But
Yeah,
you've already got a force field. We have an inbuilt force field. It's our immune system. And so walking barefoot around the countryside on stones, sand, grass, generating that magnetic strength. And what will happen is your nerves will get stronger and your nervous system will restore itself, because that's the tree of life in you and it's the Christ within. Whereas the blood is more like Jesus within, and Jesus is a twin of Satan. So the red of Satan is the red of the blood, you see. So the nervous system is primary. Once that is restored, then the blood is cleansed.
mm-hmm.
It's a
Yeah,
process.
yeah. Thanks for the
Yeah. And
insight.
so that's why, yeah. So that's why I teach raising the chrism. The chrism is that cerebrospinal gas or liquid which is in you, which must be perfected as it rises in the body, in the cerebrospinal nervous system. So what happens is when you have good practices of moderation, good diet, vegetarian diet or vegan would be superior,
Mm-hmm.
you are now enabling for the energy of that um, fluid to change in frequency as it goes up each chakra and returns back to the cranium, Kronos, the crown chakra. And that's where it gets, in the third ventricle, it gets what's the word? Recombined. I think that's the word. Where it's renewed, it's restored and then renewed. You see, so you restore it to the cranium, to the third ventricle, and from there it is renewed, and all the dormant brain cells in the cerebrum are awakened, and the individual is made holy, a solar hero. And with 12 years of perfect white tantra in the perfect matrimony, which we spoke about in our past interview about twin flames and sacred sex, after 12 years of being completed, the perfect partnership, matrimony, you are able then at the end of this to grow a 13th cranial nerve. And this is the Christ enthroned in his kingdom, when he's sitting with his 12 other cranial nerves, the 12 disciples. And so it takes 12 years of white tantra to generate the Christ within, and you lift up the Son of Man. And so this is a whole process. That's why it's so important that everything, all areas of the life are transmuted, sexual energy, all energies, so that we can ascend. And that's the ascension process. And as you ascend, then all things become more perfect in your life, because now you are more responsible, you are walking on the path, and your power is returning. The power is restored of the individual when they stay on the path and keep their integrity and do not sway off the path, and keep growing that light within, charging the magnetic field, eating good food, not disrespecting the gods by eating rubbish. We know what good food is: whole foods, organic. So these are ways of protecting the field, yourself, from all of these parasitic invasions and from being targeted. Other ways would be, genetically modified food. This does deplete the magnetic energy and transforms the DNA. This is why people are getting obese, because it attacks the codons, the DNA at the codon level and the chromosome level, because you are a color body. Chromosome means color body. You see, and there are 12 colors. That's why there are 12 segments of the DNA. You see, chromosome, 12 colors, 12 notes of the musical scale, 12 disciples, etc. It's all in DNA. And DNA is an anagram for Dan, which is Adam. And we are all Adamites because we have DNA, Dan. And so it confuses the protein and amino acid making process, so that by the time it gets into the ribosome level, where everything is put together to replicate the original pattern, the recorded pattern of the DNA, everything gets scrambled up. And so an obese person starts to be born, you know, and then other ones become anorexic, and others are fearful, others are depressive and schizophrenic, and all of a sudden they are drug addicts or alcoholics, and they need these things, addictions, because their DNA has been degraded. They've come under attack. Right. So everyone is a targeted individual at some level or another. Yeah. Even the ones who are causing this, who are enabling it and facilitating it, they are copying it as well. It's a whole prison system which goes up, 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 and into the the fourth dimension, I would say, and fifth dimension, or from this dimension, but from a distorted part of this dimension, because we can't see these entities that are that are controlling people and who are tapping into the human energy system, the magnetic field, so that they can extract that pure light and deplete us in the process. So protection is very, very important. crystals, wear your crystals, do your incantations, do your chanting. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Or you can chant to all the 9 gods. So you've got Surya Chandraya, Mangalaya, Buddhaya Cha, Guru Shukra Shanicharaya, Rahave Ketave Namaha. So that was starting from the sun, Surya, moon, Chandraya, Mangalaya, Mars, all in the order of the days of the week. Buddhaya, Mercury, Guru, Jupiter, Shukra, Venus, Shanicharaya, Saturn. And then you name Rahu and Ketu. Rahave Ketave Namaha. So I would be doing that chant. It's already recorded so people can rewind. Then there's the 7 chants for the chakras. Bottom chakra is Lam, L-A-M. Second one is Vam, V-A-M. Solar plexus is Ram, the Ram, R-A-M. The sun is I am, Y-A-M, Yum. The throat chakra is Hum, H-A-M. And Om, the third eye, and then silence. So you would go with different pace, pitch, and power. Lam, vam, ram, yam, sam. Sorry. Lam, vam, ram, yam, hum, om. Lam, vam, ram, yam, hum, om. Lam, vam, ram, yam, hum, om. And you'll feel the energy going up as you hit each one. Lam, vam, ram, yam, hum, om. And then silence. So there are many other chants too. I would be doing the hourly chants to the planets. Om Shukraya Namahe, Venus. Om Shanicharaya Namahe, Saturn. Om Suryaya Namahe, the sun. Om Chandraya Namahe, the moon. Om Mangalaya Namahe, Mars. Om Buddhaya Namahe, Mercury. Om Gurave Namahe, Jupiter. So all of these are for protection. As you sing and chant, you are making a resonance in your body through your voice. This is how powerful your voice is. And you are energizing the DNA. All atoms are singing to the same tune. So be happy when you chant, be loving, and all the atoms in the body will respond. So it's a beautiful thing, chanting, singing. You can even do kirtan, which is singing your chanting, not monotonous. You can sing it. For instance, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. It's more interesting, and you can strum some chords. It's musical. Whereas chanting on the one tone, Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram, Hare Hare. This is another thing. But when you do this long enough, then you will transcend your consciousness and you'll feel it, and your chanting you will hear other voices chanting with you, and then you go into the resonance and your consciousness is expanding through chanting because all your cells are singing. And it's very important to energize your atoms in such a way with chanting. So, yeah, I would be protecting myself as number one mechanism, and awareness of what is going on is probably very crucial as well. The other thing is meditation, stillness. You have to experience stillness every day. Every day you must meditate. It's so crucial. It's too much noise, man. You've got to still the mind. The mind needs to be stilled. and controlled. Control the mind, and you can master the universe. There you go.
Yeah.
Jump in if you like.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, you have to silence the mind to hear the silence, It's like, it is a thing, but unless you have silenced the mind, then you won't, resonate. But I agree. I think it's very interesting. Also, I was, doing this video earlier on the Cancer energy, just talking about how Cancers, they're powerful because they're emotional. And I was talking about how, the universe doesn't particularly speak English. It speaks like vibrations and frequencies, and emotions are vibrations and frequencies. So yeah, I think that's very interesting that you made that statement, about the chanting and having a positive standpoint while you chant as well. Yeah, but I'm just sitting here watching you speak, as I'm not really that keen or understanding when it comes to targeted individuals. Yeah, but so we're all targeted, but some people are targeted more than others, right?
Yes.
So technically, it's like when you're targeted, you're like in this hole, and it's like the only person that could really help you is you, because the people doing the targeting are like the people you would go to for help, right? Technically.
Yep.
So
Yep. So it can be dangerous as well. You need to be very careful who you associate with. Some friendly people can have harmful intentions. Be very, very careful. Only associate with your really good friends and have good people around you. They will charge your magnetic field. Associate with your kin. Associate with your people. Don't isolate yourself. Be connected and let people know what you're going through. I had to eventually, because I had enough of it. I was struggling so much behind the scenes, not telling people what I was going through. You could see I was sick. You could see it in all my presentations up until, I don't know, just recently.
yeah.
So,
So like, is their intention to silence you technically through the targeting?
I, I didn't see a lot of that manifesting in my life, to be honest. It could have been worse. But I know that their best option with me, because I'm such a public individual, is just to keep me fatigued. So I was operating from a position of extreme fatigue every day, sometimes being nasty to people, sometimes being loving to people, not even knowing, not even having any kind of balance. I was bipolar, to the extreme, to the point where I did a lot of damage to my fleshly organism, my friends, my syncretism even. I really self-sabotaged a lot of stuff because I was under control. And until I did the dewormer and the healing with shamans to release entities from my field, until that happened, I was stuck. It was getting worse and worse. The itching was getting insane up until June this year. And then I smashed it on the day I took fenbenzidole on the 23rd of June. Bang, gone. And from that day on, I started having peace. No more, I don't know, no more agitation. There was something new. And I've been growing since. I left where I was living in Queensland, travelled to Victoria on July the 3rd, spent 5 weeks there. Then on August the 11th, flew to San Francisco and done further healing here in the forest. I'm meditating in the redwoods here every day on an incline, head down. So my head's down here, and I'll lie like this for the blood to go down. And then I'll be looking at the canopy of the trees and see the light coming through, focus on a point, and then all of a sudden you have an absolutely blissful Kundalini experience. I do it every day without fail. And you feel like you want to really, really feel good. Everyone wants to feel good. And the best good you will find, if you want to find, it's not with it's with yourself in the stillness, in the forest, barefoot, touching the earth and magnetizing your body. That stillness is magnetism, or it's the opposite of magnetism, rather. It's dielectricity. But you need that stillness to give you the strength to charge your magnetism so you can have energy, unlimited energy.
Yeah, that's all very
My energy has increased. I have more energy. I do walking every day, barefoot up the roads, the dirt roads, on the stones, bang, 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 bang. Just keep walking on those stones. And my feet are calloused and they're very accustomed to the stone. And then I walk down the hill and then I do my meditation. And it's great. It is healing. Any time you spend in the forest is all about healing. And so I find a spot where I can do my solar work, healing in the sun. As you can see, I'm very brown because I've been out in the sun every day.
Yeah.
And that's vitamin D. And the vitamin D is going into the skin, and that brown color is actually going to give you vitamin D
through
the winter. If you get nice and brown.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I live in Arizona, and like I always love being out in the sun, you know, like because I understand, I guess you can say, the mechanics of the sun. Like I know that the sun is not gonna hurt me. I more feel like it helps me, you know, like whenever I'm out in the sun I get charged, but other people, they don't like the sun. And it's interesting because some people, when they go in the sun, they experience burning, and what I realize is that's the sun, like, you know, trying to help cleanse you, because the sun is trying to help cleanse you. And if like you have all these toxins, you're gonna experience burning, you know? Yeah, it's all interesting.
Well, this is why you have to do these things gradually, these modalities, protocols. So I wouldn't be staring at the sun in the midday sun as I can do. First off, you need to wait for the sun to rise where the light is more soft. And in the morning, it has more ultraviolet and infrared than in the evening. The evening is more blue. And so different effect, but better the morning sun because it's coming at you. That's more charging. You see, the evening sun is now drawing away from your body magnetism. But you need that as well. It's a breath. Charge, discharge. So you have to know which one you're doing. You see, the morning sun will vitalize you, and the evening sun will make you relaxed. And so, but you need to look at the sun. It has to come through your eyes. And that's how you charge up the electricity in the cerebrum, because it's an electrical body. The pineal gland being of carbon, and the cortex being of copper. And that's how electricity is generated in the body, and thought waves. And so this is why people are suffering with nervous problems. Not enough barefoot walking, not enough solar gazing, not enough palms up to the sun to get the lamp of God, the Lamb of God in your palms. And with your feet On the ground, the soles of your feet and your heels, you heal your soul through your palms, a la Akhenaten. And you are receiving the sun's rays and speeding up your magnetic field, getting it healthy. What a protection. It's already in you. Everything is in you. You can generate any kind of magic from this.
Yeah, indeed. I feel like
Yep.
this, people tend to forget that everything is within them, you know, like for instance, people might get a crystal and they might, you know, put the power in the crystal, but in actuality, it's not the crystal in of itself, but it's like a collaboration between the two energies, you know. But yeah, everything starts within, and it's always a collaboration, and it's always personalized as well, you know, because we all, um, I guess, have our own energy and approach things differently. Like all crystals affect us differently, you know. So I feel like someone going with the generic meaning of a crystal is kind of, in a sense, foolish, because I feel like you should, you know, have the crystal and rather listen to what that inner voice is telling you, because we all connect to the crystal differently, if you get what I'm saying.
Yep, absolutely. And we all have different crystals in our bodies. Some have more magnesium, some have more sodium, some more iron. So we're all a different chemical mixture. And so knowing that, you can increase certain ones through crystals or food habits.
Mm-hmm.
You know, knowing your chart, your astrological chart, you know where, you know, certain signs are weak and debilitated, and you can strengthen these. So there's a whole science to it. Astrology is the science of light. That's what it is. The language, excuse me, of light,
Mm-hmm.
and how light works in waves, light waves, starting at Aries, finishing at Pisces.
Right. Yeah. Such a shame that astrology has been, like you said, poo-poo, because if it wasn't, you know, we would be so, I guess, advanced or elsewhere, and everything would be so easy, because that's like, you know, the understanding in a sense of the universe. Yeah, you know, it's sad to me whenever I approach someone and I talk about astrology to them, and they see astrology as something that is like fiction or whatever. It's like it's not fiction, it's influencing you.
Yeah, exactly. It's it's taught to be a pseudoscience for that very reason, so that people discard it or dismiss it. But when you start paying attention to it and you start realizing how it's the language of light,
Mm-hmm.
you have utmost respect for this beautiful science, and you can understand everything about light and electromagnetism, everything through astrology, because it teaches that energy is a 12ness. That's why we have 12 systems in the body, 12 cranial nerves, etc. Everything is 12. And so there are 12 tissue salts in the body as well, discovered by Schussler when he studied the cremated remains of animals and humans. He found they all consisted of 12 salts. And then 100 years later, George Carey, astrologer, learned how these 12 tissue salts correspond to the zodiac signs. And he called them the salts of salvation. And he administered 3 salts to each individual according to their sun sign.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were Aries, he would give you the salt for Aries, potassium phosphate. And then the next sign, Taurus, sodium sulfate. And then the next sign, Gemini, potassium chloride. And so by administering these 3 salts, he found great results in people, healing them. Because the 9-month gestation period enables 9 of the salts, but doesn't develop the other 3. And so he added to Schussler's work, and his volume of work is called The Cell Salts of Salvation. And that's another way of charging your magnetic field, homeopathic tissue salts. So what would your sign be there, Soli? Your sun sign?
I'm a Gemini. I'm a lot of Gemini. I have a huge stellium in Gemini.
Okay.
A big one.
Okay, so you need to take the Gemini, Cancer, and Leo salts, and they are potassium chloride, calcium fluoride, and magnesium phosphate. So there's another trick to add to your repertoire. Ways of protecting the self and growing the self, transmuting. The other thing is not to live in fear. They will not win. We win. Everything will be beautiful one day. Work from that level of consciousness, from that perspective, and you won't be defeated. Have faith, for I have conquered the world, says the scripture. And you will do greater works than these. So we are the ones we've been waiting for. So whatever you do, do with all your heart and all your soul, honestly, with integrity. And all the blessings you ever look for will unfold. They will. Your twin flame will come to you. True love, true happiness, peace, bliss. I'm experiencing more bliss now. And that bliss is all mine.
Yeah, exactly.
Once you acquire this bliss, it doesn't leave you. And bliss is Sat, Ananda. We are seeking three things: Sat, Chit, Ananda. And Ananda is bliss. Sat is consciousness, existence. Chit is consciousness, and Ananda is bliss. And Sat, Chit, Ananda, according to the Hindus, is all our nature. That's our nature.
Yeah, you know, the beautiful seven hermetics state that all is mental and the external world is reflected into your mind. This is so true, you know. It's like when they say change your mind, change the world, there's like truth in that. It's all about perception. If you think they won, then they already have, because we are all living in our own world, you know.
True. Yeah, we get to win because we wrote the script originally, the script of our life and the trials and ordeals that we would go through.
Yes.
And how it would finish, how it would end. And so the good script writer has a great ending. The ones who didn't write a good script and signed a lot of bad contracts, maybe not their turn. So it's all about choices as well, you know, in this life. If you find that you are a targeted individual, then you will be able to fortify yourself. It's about making a fortification around you. And it's a spiritual warfare. You need to put on the helmet of salvation, the sandals of truth, the breastplate of righteousness. I forget all the different parts of the armor, but you have to protect yourself spiritually with armor.
Indeed.
And that's magnetism. If you're not protected, they'll come in and they'll be very nasty and treat you badly. The entities will take over. And they are not very nice.
You know, it's also really interesting how people are naive to these things of, like, you know, influences that we can't see influencing us. But it's like we humans can only perceive like less than, I think it's 1% of the light spectrum. So it's not bizarre that there's so much happening that we don't see.
Yep. Yeah, so I hope this information was very encouraging and
Mhm.
enlightening for the listeners. I hope, okay, I've got it. So I just got a message, sorry, got distracted. Yeah, I hope this was very beneficial. And I am going to be starting to do some presentations here, Sacramento, uh, San Francisco on the 21st of September, Sacramento maybe a week earlier, but I'll be posting it on my Facebook page for everybody. So I'd
Mhm.
love to meet the Californians and staters who are probably interested to come and get some good syncretism. So I'll be posting that when I'm ready and when we have venues and dates.
Yeah,
So look out for that, brother.
I will. I mean, I'm in Arizona, so that's not that far, but so yeah, this has been another beautiful talk with me and Santos. We do hope this has informed you guys or brought to your awareness that indeed there are such things as targeted individuals, and at a certain point, like Santos said, we are getting targeted. Even the people doing the targeting are targeting themselves. But yes, this has been solely your host. You can find us on Outfly Serialized Talk Show on YouTube. You can find me on Solely Astrology Plus on YouTube. Thank you for watching, and as they say, namaste.